Hi there. I just thought I would do a video about 5G. Um, I was just on the internet looking at different articles, and there is a lot of ignorance out there, you know, from people just saying, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. 5G is a military weapon and was a military weapon even before it was rolled out. Um, it absorbs oxygen. It took me a while to get the knowledge on it. But radiation and phones and all that kind of stuff was, it was documented years ago in the early 2000s and 1990s that it was that kind of thing was bad for you. Because the thing is, we are like super sensitive to electrical energy and stuff. So of course it's going to be a bad thing. You up that power and up it and up it and up it, and it just gets worse for your body. Now I don't have to be a scientist and doctor to work this out. But I think what we have in some people, most people are against 5G. Um, but I think there's a few that are in denial. It's the same with this COVID-19 thing. People want to believe in the BBC News. Um, they want to believe in them. They want to believe in their government. But yet, before this pandemic, people would complain about government. Like I say all the time, that people's relationship with government is an abusive relationship. And the only people that get in abusive relationships are psychologically damaged people. And I think that's possibly one of the reasons why, in a situation like this, some people cling towards their government and almost like hiding behind them and not doing any research. I was reading an article about David Icke, and this person saying, "Oh, Wuhan wasn't one of the first places; it was other places in China." Well, you just said that China was one of the first places to switch on 5G. China is more ahead than us with their artificial intelligence. David Icke, everything he says is the truth. He's a great researcher. Um, when he actually says something, I'll look it up and I find out that it's actually a truth, And he's one of the people that will say it first. He seems to be very good at getting knowledge before anyone else hears it. But I think that's what it is. I think some people are just they want to believe that the BBC News and other news channels, most news channels, are going to tell them the truth. They want to believe their governments care about them, right? And this is the same governments that have so many wars. That in Britain, for example, there were there were so many homeless people, especially before this lockdown, and they would take people off their benefits. And people that were dying, people that actually had illnesses and did die as a result, of not getting money. They couldn't keep themselves warm, couldn't feed themselves properly. It's government and leaders. It's like what Tucker Carlson said. These people are, you know, what he says all the time from Fox News. Now, Fox News is okay, but even you've got some brainwashed people that work there. But there is some good people on there, and that's the only decent news channel I've actually found on the television. I don't really watch television. But back to the 5G. Yes, I am thinking in America it's called Senate, is it? It's to do with government in America. And before 5G was rolled out, the guy in there, it's on YouTube, you can find it. He said, "Is there any backed studies to make sure this is safe?" And no one could say yes. There's been no backed studies to back that 5G is safe. And what it does is it absorbs oxygen. And what has been going on just now with this so-called pandemic, maybe it is a pandemic, is lack of oxygen, respiratory problems. And that's what basically, 5G does a number of different things. Um, it can make your skin feel like it's burning. It's military technology. That's what the 5G is. Um, and these radiations are very bad for you. Chemotherapy, the cancer treatment, that's radiation, and people get very ill from it. The whole point is to give the body a similar thing to the cancer. Same with vaccines. It's a stupid idea, that, and it doesn't really work, and the people end up dying. But yeah, this 5G, what it actually does is, and you see, the thing is we know what 5G is, and also hundreds of doctors and scientists before this rollout all said no to it. Right? So there was no studies to know that it's safe. There's not been independent studies from independent scientists. The scientists that say it's good are those that get government funding, and it's all about repeating the official line. But we know that 5G is not safe. What would be the point in all these doctors and scientists saying that it's not safe? You know what I mean? It would be a pointless thing. And before it was even rolled out, it had a massive reputation. What would be the point in creating a theory if it was just rubbish? So it's not rubbish. And what it also does is it lowers the immune system. That's what it does also. Because it's depriving you of oxygen. It's 60 gigahertz. It works with oxygen, and it takes the oxygen. So if your body's been deprived of oxygen, you're going to fall ill. As simple as that. And people in all over the world have actually just collapsed. I've actually seen videos on YouTube where they just collapse. So 5G is definitely going to have an impact. And Dr. Buttar, what he says about 5G is that it lowers the immune system. And his theory is not that 5G is creating coronavirus, but he says that the 5G is lowering the immune system, therefore the immunity can't fight off anything. But it's crazy when you get these people on the internet, and they obviously haven't done any research into what they're speaking about. It's so ignorant. It's so ignorant, to to say something when you don't know what you're speaking about. I just think that's very, very ignorant. Before I say anything about subjects, I make sure that I look up. I'm just repeating things from doctors and people that know what they're talking about. And the thing is, the independent scientists and doctors are looking for the truth. The ones that speak on television usually are systematic scientists. They work for the system. So they can't go saying anything against the system, what the system's trying to say. Right? And yeah, 5G is related to COVID-19 because 5G lowers your immunity. And then our immunity, this is what Dr. Andrew Kaufman says, our immunity when it's down produces a thing, I think it's called exosomes. And basically that's what this test for COVID-19 tests for a genetic material that is basically illness. And even, I've seen some people in the American government saying that the test is only 50% accurate as well. But what happens is they rolled out 5G and then people fell ill. That's what happened. There's one video on YouTube I watched last year, and this guy said that, I wonder how long it's going to be before people start dropping dead. And look what's happened. Right? People, like in this picture, what would be the point in them doing it? Do you think people would have an uproar and so many scientists and doctors would say no? But yet some people just want to live in denial. Like I say, Because I think these kind of people, they don't want to believe that, they want to believe that their government is going to have their best interests at heart. It's crazy, when we know that that's not the case. But like I say, it's basically a state of denial. When people don't want to believe something, they won't believe it. There's fear involved in that also. But this is not the time to be hiding behind your government. Your government wants to kill you. That's what this is about. This is a depopulation plan, right? Your government is coming for you. It's coming for your children. It's coming from, the younger generations, and that's what's going on. And so people need to awaken and start doing research on the internet, or research, doesn't have to be internet, and understand what you're talking about. And people like David Icke, like I say, he's a great researcher. He does a lot of research, and what he says, like when he talks about the COVID-19, he just repeats what doctors have said. And that's what I do as well. And so David Icke might have said some, distasteful things or things that people didn't like before, but that was because he was going through a spiritual awakening. And, he's a great researcher, very reliable. I think I said earlier on in this video that the only reliable news channel I've found on television is Fox News. Tucker Carlson is very good from there, and there's others as well. I don't agree with everything Tucker Carlson says, but he asks real questions. The BBC contacted YouTube in one of David Icke's interviews with London Real and wanted it to be removed because he was telling the truth. He was telling you what's in vaccines. He was talking about all the different stuff that's going on. But they don't like that because they're trying to sell the official story, and that challenges it, you see. And the reason they were worried is because of this protest and people being angry, because they've been lying to the people, you see. And people will only put up with it for so long. And what you're seeing now is what the people should be doing, is saying no to this mass control grid, and 5G plays a big part in it, you see. Because they need 5G to power the smart AI system, the AI grid, the kill grid. But yeah, 5G, we know it's well documented. It's not good for you. No radiation is good for you. Our bodies aren't equipped. Our frequencies are so, we're so delicate, to electricity. We're we are all very, very sensitive energetically, and electricity and humans don't mix, you see. And that's why sometimes you'll get an electric shock from nothing. It happens to people all the time. And as you up that more and more and more, it gets worse and worse for people's health. But what we really need is to stop being in denial, right? And stop wanting to believe it's okay, because you know deep down that it's not okay, that it's not safe, but you want to believe it is. I understand that people want to believe that things are safe and everything, but deep down that there's something going on here. Everyone does. And that's why, I don't look for this 5G videos on YouTube or nothing, but I see all the time you've got normal people, everyday people now not believing it, because so many people have spoke against it, and reliable people like doctors and scientists especially with 5G, who understand what this stuff is about. It's not good at all. And so I just wanted to do a video on that today, but that's what it does. One of the things it does, it lowers the immune system because it takes the oxygen. If you want to believe that's coronavirus or COVID-19, you do your research and find out for yourself. But I just wanted to do a little video on 5G and give the facts, the truth about 5G, what it is. But you do your own research. And I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching and listening.